All right, so today we're going to dive into this really fascinating travel journal from back in 2008. It tells the story of a pretty unique trip. One that perfectly blends a relaxing vacation with a really deep personal passion for the past. And it poses this great question, right? Can a vacation also be a pilgrimage? Can you really find that deep personal meaning and connect with your own history while, also sipping a drink by the pool? Well, this trip, it offers a pretty fantastic answer.
Okay, so let's get right into it. This is Randy Seaver, and this photo of him was taken on his trip to Ellis Island, which, get this, he actually called his personal pilgrimage. His whole journey is just a masterclass in what happens when you let your passion be your travel guide.
So what Randy was doing has a name. It's called genealogical tourism. Basically, it's when you travel specifically to explore your ancestry. He was on this special cruise, right, sponsored by a genealogy software company. So yeah, there were definitely beaches and buffets, but the real mission, that was all about connecting with his family history.
All right, so the adventure kicks off in New York City. Now for Randy and his wife Linda, this was their first time there. So it wasn't just about seeing the famous sights. No, for them, it was really about walking in the footsteps of history.
And they did not waste any time. They jumped right into this whirlwind tour. Just look at this schedule. This was not a leisurely stroll. This was an absolute 9-hour marathon, hitting all the iconic spots. You're talking the UN, Rockefeller Plaza, Empire State Building, Ground Zero, the whole shebang.
And here's a little personal touch from his journal that I just love. Amidst all these huge, famous landmarks, Randy captured this perfectly timed shot of a seagull. He called it his Jonathan Livingston seagull shot. And it's these little spontaneous moments, isn't it? That's what really makes a trip memorable. But of course, let's be real. No trip is perfect. And this just brilliantly illustrates the not-so-glamorous side of travel. This single, super frustrated word from Randy's journal, arga, it tells you everything you need to know about being stuck in New York traffic for an hour. Oh yeah, we've all been there.
But you have to remember, for a genealogist like Randy, all the skyscrapers and the busy streets, that was just the opening act. The real main event, the heart of his entire New York visit, was the journey to Ellis Island.
And wow, what an experience that was for him. He talks about walking into the baggage room and just trying to imagine the hopes and the fears of the millions of people who passed through. He even got to see other visitors having that incredible aha moment, finding their ancestors' names on the old ship manifests. This was so much more than a museum visit. It was this deeply emotional, personal connection to the American story.
But Randy's unique idea of what tourism means, well, it didn't stop at Ellis Island. While most visitors were probably out shopping for I Heart NY t-shirts, he was heading off on a completely different kind of treasure hunt.
Okay, I absolutely love this comparison. So picture a typical Saturday in New York City. While lots of people are maybe catching a Broadway show or shopping on Fifth Avenue, where's Randy? He's spending 3 hours deep inside the New York Public Library, digging through old records, hunting for his La Tourette and Jones family lines. Now that is what passion-fueled travel looks like.
And he was super efficient about it too. He describes this incredible system they have at the library. He could fill out a slip for a rare book and, get this, it would be at his table in just 2 or 3 minutes. It's amazing. So in just 3 hours, he was able to gather all these clues he just couldn't find anywhere else.
But research is like any quest. It's got its ups and downs. He found this one book that looked absolutely perfect for his Jones family line, but his ancestor just wasn't in it. And his simple little journal entry, drat, I hate it when that happens, that just perfectly captures that small, super relatable frustration every researcher feels at some point.
Okay, so with the New York pilgrimage complete, the trip completely shifts gears. Now, it's time to set sail for the Caribbean. But don't think for a second the genealogy mission is over. Nope, it continues right there on the ship.
And make no mistake, this was also very much a vacation. Look at these excursions they went on. They're riding a narrow-gauge sugarcane train in St. Kitts, they're snorkeling with stingrays in Antigua, and even with turtles in St. Thomas. Randy and Linda were definitely soaking up the sun and all the local culture at every single stop. And here's a great photo of Randy's wife Linda in San Juan, and it just beautifully captures that sightseeing part of their journey. They were out there exploring historic forts and castles, truly blending that historical curiosity with some serious island relaxation.
So you might be wondering, how did they balance it all?
Well, this chart gives you a really good idea of their onboard experience. As you can see, a big chunk of time, 40%, was for those island excursions. But look at this. Another 35% was spent in actual genealogy sessions and just chatting with other enthusiasts. It was basically a floating convention for history buffs.
Yeah, the learning absolutely did not stop just because they were at sea. Randy talks about having these lunches where he's debating the finer points of genealogy software with people from Oregon and even New Zealand. The ship itself became this floating classroom and community, all centered around this one shared passion.
So, what are the big takeaways from this incredible blend of travel and personal history? Let's kind of pull it all together and look at what Randy observed on his journey.
Randy was clearly a really keen observer. He jotted down notes about everything, from the practical challenges of accessibility in the New York subway to the genuine warmth of the Caribbean people. And he also spotted this fascinating trend in the library. Even way back in 2008, he estimated that 80% of the researchers in there were already using online databases instead of physical books. Talk about a sign of things to come.
Ultimately, what Randy's story really shows us is that the best kind of travel is the kind that feeds your soul. He came to the conclusion that combining the work of his research with the pure pleasure of the Caribbean, well, that was the absolute perfect mix for a genealogy enthusiast like him.
And really, it all boils down to this one simple, powerful idea. Forget the maps, forget the guidebooks. Your own passion is the best travel guide you will ever have. It's the one thing that transforms a simple vacation into a truly meaningful quest.
So that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Whether your passion is history, or food, or art, or nature, what story is your next trip just waiting to uncover?